Hey, I'm Hannah Cedars. Welcome to the Appalachian Sage and welcome to my little blog home. I'm so glad you're here. We've got all kinds of stories to tell and a whole lot of healing ahead. No, I'm kinda new to all this technology, so just bear with me, I'm learning as I go. Go on and grab you a cup of hot coffee or some iced sassafras tea if you'd rather. Cups are in the right cupboard, tea's in the refrigerator, and the coffee's sittin' ready on the counter. Pull up a chair and come a little closer. We've got plenty to get into. Now, let me tell you a little bit about why I started the Appalachian Sage in the first place. I've lived a whole lot of life, and most of it wasn't easy. But every bit of it shaped me. I was raised in Kentucky, born in Danville, grew up on a small farm where tobacco grew in the fields and Herefords grazed slow and steady in the pasture. Daddy always had a dozen irons in the fire. Tobacco, his backhoe work, including septic tanks, driveways, rock delivery, hay, cattle, Belgian horses, plus a full-time job as supervisor for the county road department. Mama worked long shifts in a factory. We weren't rich, but we weren't poor either, just country rural middle class, built on sweat and grit. My dad couldn't read or write, and Mom only had an 8th grade education. I grew up in a little Baptist church just down the road. Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, that was just the rhythm of our lives. The heart of who I am comes from Ma, my maternal grandmother, and her people, the mountain women, the healers, the quiet ones who carried wisdom in their bones. Her bloodline runs straight back through Russell County, Virginia, up over Big A Mountain, and deep into Appalachian history. This blog, this whole project, it's my way of honoring them. It's a way to pass on the teachings, the stories, the herbs, the faith, the humor, and the heart that shaped me. I hope this space helps you feel a little less alone. I hope it gives you comfort, maybe a smile, maybe a moment that feels like coming home. Before we go any further, I want to share something that sits real close to my heart. See, in my family, the women weren't loud, they weren't flashy, but they were powerful in ways most folks never noticed at first glance. My ma, for instance, Lord, she was something special. She never raised her voice, but when she prayed over you, you felt it. She could ease a fever with a cool cloth and a whispered verse, break a hex without ever calling at that, and calm a troubled spirit just by sitting beside you on the porch swing. And that wasn't just her. Her mama and her mama before that, they carried the same quiet strength. It's a line of mountain women who knew the land, knew the herbs, knew the old ways, and carried their healing like a birthright. I didn't understand it all when I was young. To me, it was just how life was. But as I grew up, and especially as life got harder, I realized those old teachings were more than memories. They were a lifeline. So when I created the Appalachian Sage, I did it with one purpose: to gather all that heritage, all that wisdom, and to pass it on not as dusty history, but as living, breathing stories you can carry into your own life. Because healing isn't always something loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's a cup of tea brewed the way your grandmother taught you, or a charm said in a whisper, or one good conversation that finally untangles something inside you. And that's the journey we're on together here. A mix of stories, folklore, faith, lessons, and a whole lot of heart. All right now, first off, this is not your average blog. This is a whole world I'm building, piece by piece. Here, you'll find stories, real ones, old ones, and the ones that feel like home. Some come from my own family line, some from the Appalachian Hills, some from healers who came long before any of us. They're meant to soothe you, inspire you, and maybe even shake loose a memory or two. We'll talk powwow traditions, Appalachian folk remedies, teas, charms, and the gentle ways my ma taught me to care for the body and the spirit. Nothing crazy, nothing spooky, just the old common sense mountain folks used for generations. Honest conversations. I'm a straight shooter, and I'm not here to pretend life is perfect. We'll talk about hurt, healing, faith, family, boundaries, and finding your own strength again. If you're going through something, you're not alone, not here. A bit of business talk, too. I'll bring you along as I build my Appalachian Sage brand, Etsy, blogging, designing, writing my trilogy, all the pieces that go into creating a life that feels right and true. If I learn something that helps, I'll pass it on. I want us to rise together. And yes, plenty of humor. Because Lord knows if we don't laugh, we won't make it. I come from a long line of folks who could be crying 1 minute and cutting up the next. So expect some giggles, some snorts, and the occasional, well, would you look at that? It's just part of who I am. So whether you're here for the healing, the heritage, the stories, or just some company on a quiet evening, you're welcome. You're wanted. And I'm sure glad you found your way to my porch. If you've made it this far with me, then I want to share something a little deeper. The real reason I started the Appalachian Sage. My whole life, I felt this pull, this calling to help folks heal. Not with big dramatic gestures, not with fancy titles or certificates, but with the small things. The things that actually matter. A story told at the right moment. A prayer whispered over somebody's name. A cup of tea. A charm Ma handed down without ever writing a word of it. I grew up watching strong, gentle mountain women who lived by instinct, faith, and love women who didn't have much, but they knew things. They carried traditions that stretched back generations, sometimes without even realizing it. And now, it's my turn to pass it on. My mission here is simple, to preserve what should have never been forgotten. The old ways, the healing ways, the quiet wisdom tucked into ordinary life. To help people feel seen, understood, and less alone. Because I know what it feels like to hurt in silence. To give strength to those rebuilding their lives from scratch. I'm walking that road myself, and I believe we rise better when we walk together. I hope this blog brings you comfort, clarity, laughter, or just a little company on the days you need it most. Then I'm doing exactly what I was put here to do. That's my mission. That's the Appalachian Sage. Now, before we wrap up this little introduction, let me tell you what's coming down the line here at the Appalachian Sage, because honey, we're just getting started. Every week, I'm bringing you new stories, new teachings, new pieces of my family history that I've held close for years. Some of these come straight from the mountains or the foothills that raised me, straight from Ma, and straight from the quiet moments when life taught me something important. You'll see blog posts on healing emotional, spiritual, physical, and Appalachian folk ways. We're going to talk herbs, teas, traditions, and the simple wisdom mountain folks lived by. Powwow teachings and old charms shared with respect, the way they were meant to be passed down. Behind the scenes looks at the books I'm writing, the Appalachian Trilogy, the Grimoire, the herb series that will contain many books on individual herbs and their benefits, organic chemicals, and recipes to go along with the herb. You'll get the stories behind the stories. The kind of conversations that make you exhale and say, Lord, I needed to hear that today. I'm showing up here regularly. Not perfect, not fancy, just real. Some days it'll be polished. Some days it'll be me with my hair in a clip and a cup of coffee trying to make sense of life. But it'll always be honest. So if this speaks to you, if it feels like home, stay with me. We've got a whole journey ahead, and I'd sure love for you to walk beside me. All right, friend, if you've made it all the way through this little introduction, then let me just say this from my heart. Thank you for being here. You could be scrawling past, rushing, running, or drowning in 100 other things, but instead you sat here with me for a spell. And that means more than you know. My hope is simple, that this place becomes a soft spot for you to land, a porch light, a warm kitchen, a quiet corner where your heart can settle down for a minute. Whether you're here to learn, to laugh, to heal, or just to feel a little less alone, you're welcome. You've got a seat here anytime you want it. And listen, don't be shy. Come talk to me in the comments. Join my email list, share your stories, ask your questions. We're building something special here, something rooted in the mountains, held together by faith, humor, history, and a whole lot of love. So until next time, take care of yourself, breathe deep, and know I'm praying good things over you. I'll see you soon on the Appalachian Sage.